What's going on, good people? It's your boy Lloyd Knows checking in again for the last recap slash review of Mr. Inbetween. Say it ain't so. I know it's sad. I know it's sad. We're gonna get through it together. That's why we're all here, right? We're gonna get through it together. I know that's what y'all tuned in for. I appreciate y'all's patience. It was tough for me to make this video. I'm gonna try not to cry, by the end of it, man, but it's tough. It's really hard to say goodbye to yesterday or the day before yesterday or the day before yesterday. But regardless of what day it was, it's tough to say goodbye. I'm hoping they might sneak another season in next year. Maybe one's in the process of being made right now. I don't know. I'll keep my fingers crossed just like y'all. Keep my fingers crossed just like y'all, because I miss having these weekly chats with y'all, man. I miss talking to my people across the water, across the other water, a couple waters across, man. But I really miss, really gonna miss talking to my Australian people. Hey, again, let me know. We can keep this conversation going. This doesn't have to be the only thing we can talk about. We can talk about other shows, but since this is the final episode of Mr. Inbetween, it's only right that we, get in between things. So let's talk about it, man. Last episode. So, starting off, we got our boy, the hero Ray, reminiscing about what was, reminiscing about his boo thing, Zoe, or his newfound crush, Zoe, who he was just doing a job with and happened to, catch feelings for. And all of a sudden, she snuffed out of his life just like that, man, by Raphael, this boss that he's working for. So, based upon how the last episode ended and the look in his eyes, we know the only thing on his mind is revenge. Boy's looking for revenge, like Drake say, man. I've been looking for revenge. That's what our boy Ray's looking for, man. He's looking for revenge, man. And it's only a matter of time before he gets it, we hope. So, after that, transitions to a scene with Brittany, the awesome Brittany. And by the way, if y'all were watching this episode, doesn't it seem like he's saying goodbye? Doesn't it seem like he's saying goodbye to everybody? Like he's getting his time with every character in the show and, getting moments with them. And it just kind of has a feel of him saying goodbye. I know the title of the show is I'm Not Leaving. But, Brittany kind of breaks it down to him and says, but you are. So I guess Ray's transitioning into another city or another town close by, maybe an hour and a half away from, Brittany and his family. But, Brittany can kind of tell that something's a little bit different. Pops is kind of changing for the better or the worse. And, this separation, no matter how far, isn't necessarily healthy for them. And she doesn't want it. She's reluctant about it, but what can she do? And so he says he's not leaving, hence the title, but in reality, he is. So, only time will tell where his journey takes him, but looks like Ray's planning for a trip out of town for good, man. So, I guess it's only right for it to be the last episode, right? So, he deals with that. He gets his orders in affair with his daughter. Kind of says his goodbye. And she's so cute, man. Just think of how Brittany's grown over these last 4 years, man, to this little, bitty girl. To all of a sudden, man, she's like a full-grown ass teenager. I mean, I can hardly recognize her. I mean, she's still the same girl, but she's just grown, over the past few years, big time. And so Ray takes his daughter to go see her granddaughter, his dad. Or, excuse me, Ray takes his daughter to go see his dad, her grandfather. And I'm assuming this is their first time meeting each other, which is awesome because, hey, she gets to meet her grandfather and the grandfather gets to meet his granddaughter. And he's dealing with Alzheimer's, so he doesn't even recognize Ray at first. But I love how the grandfather and and Brittany have this quick, rapport with each other. You know, this back and forth. He makes a comment about her being Chinese. It's just like, no, I'm Aussie. You know, without batting an eye, with no hesitation. It was just so funny because you know what he kind of meant, even though it didn't come off politically correct. I'm assuming he was trying to say, was she Asian, and she is part Asian and definitely Australian too. So she was definitely right, but it was just funny. Their little back and forth, and you know, her intuitiveness, her smart, quick-wittedness. No, I'm Aussie. I just love Brittany. I'm gonna miss her. I hope that she starts acting better than what she's been acting. I hope she stops playing with guns. Hope she stops doing drugs. I hope she doesn't posh, which means kiss. Found that out. Another cultural moment. Y'all are learning me again. Posh means kiss over in Australian. Didn't know that. Different terms for everybody, you know. Different strokes for different folks. But I like that. I like that conversation they had in the car. Brittany and Ray, you know, that was awesome. You know, she's definitely growing. And she's, you know, you can tell she kind of opened up to her dad. You know, this whole season she's kind of been, you know, trying to lash out towards her dad, it seems like. You know, trying to grow up in front of us all. You know, doing things that she knows she shouldn't be doing. Just to kind of spite her dad, you know. But, you know, she finally kind of opens up to him, and I like that, man, because, you know, he deserves that. You know, at the end of the day, you only get one dad. And so, you know, she deserves to open up to her father and, you know, tell her what's on her mind. Tell him what's on her mind. So, you know, I like that heartwarming moment, you know, as Ray kind of says his goodbye to the rest of the crew. And then next, we got our favorite Gary, man. What are we going to say about Gary, man? That hasn't been said already. Gary, man. Gary's out here living his directorial dreams out here, making flicks and featuring in flicks as well, man. Man, I'm gonna miss Gary, man, and his entrepreneurialness. You know, he, of course, you know, has a moment with Ray, and they talk about, you know, Ray leaving and how Brittany feels about that, and, you know, what's to come of the future, and Ray's interested in how Gary's future is going to be and how's work going on his end, you know, because we know how Ray's work is going, but how's Gary's work going? And Gary tells him, hey, business is booming. Business is booming, man. Things are going great. You know, you just did another, you know, feature film, outdoors, public, exhibitionist. Gary got to be featured in the flick. So, you know, he was getting paid to film and getting paid to screw at the same time. What a life. What a life for Gary, man. Gary's out here living his best life, and I'm going to miss that guy, man. Shout out to Gary, man, for living everybody's best life out here, man. He will be missed, man. So then it kind of transitions to Freddy, right? Freddy. Good old Freddy. Man, I like Freddy, man. You know, it's interesting. You know, for the longest, I kind of thought Ray was the boss, like, during the first season. You know, I didn't realize Freddy was his boss. You know, I feel like Ray's the muscle, you know. Why is he taking orders from Freddy? Why is he taking orders from this guy? Well, it should be the other way around, right? But, you know, it is what it is. You know, that's the relationship. So I'm not here to, you know, mess it up. But, you know, it just seems interesting. Like, who would have thought? Who would have fucking thought? You know? Who would have thought, man? Freddy. First off, Demi's. What's up, Demi's? Okay, learning something. Dumplings. First off, I've never had dumplings. So that's one thing I could have kind of related to Freddy about. Never had dumplings myself, you know? That's not my thing. I mean, but it's not my thing because I really haven't been introduced to him. I really haven't taken the time to actually, be open-minded about the situation, right? So I'm kind of with Freddy on that. Never had dimmies, never had dumplings, but would like to try either one of them out. I know that y'all's take on dumplings over there. I want to try them someday. I will keep my mind open, and Freddy does as well. Freddy keeps his mind open. He tries some dimmies, with the urgence of Ray. And have a little chat, and it's impressed me. That's one thing about Freddy. I will say it's impressed me. He's kept an open mind this season. He tried something out with Raphael on the boat that day. I forgot, was it oysters? I can't remember what it was. I think it was oysters, some type of sea animal. And I don't think he had ever had oysters, and he tried them out. And I still think he doesn't like oysters, but at least he's being open minded and trying new things. So that's one thing you could appreciate about Freddy. Probably the only thing you can appreciate about Freddy after this, man, because, Freddy turns out to not be the Freddy that we thought he was. So, Ray's looking for Raphael, right? And apparently Raphael's looking for him. But one thing about this episode that kind of confused me, Freddy had mentioned some biker. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to figure out where the hell did this biker come from? Was this biker in previous episodes and I just didn't catch him? Because it seems like the biker was looking for Ray and Ray's looking for Raphael, and obviously the biker and Raphael are, linked together. So I'm just wondering, where did he come from? Did I miss him? Can y'all let me know in the comment section where this biker come from? Anyway, Freddy gives him the inside scoop on, where they can find him, So we're thinking, okay, Ray's got the jump on it. He goes with his friend Dave to, cash in on that inside tip. And on the way to this tip that Freddy gave him, Dave and Ray are having a good conversation in the car. And so they're talking about alien sex. Man, that conversation is kind of crazy, man. Jabba the Hutt, man. It's one thing I kind of appreciate about this show, that they embrace the conspiracies. You got the chemtrails mentioned earlier in this season. You got the alien conspiracies. You could talk about that for days. That's one thing I like about this show, that they really embrace the conspiracies. The writing is really clever. It's really witty. And I just kind of like the back and forth between the characters and the relationship that they have. I mean, the relationship that Dave has with Ray is awesome, because think about it. I don't think I've ever heard anybody call Ray Raymond throughout this whole series. Not any of the seasons have I ever heard anybody call Ray Raymond. Not his dad, not his brother, not Gary. I mean, if it's happened, correct me. Feel free to correct me. Go find an episode that it happened and point it out to me. But Dave, in a friendly manner, calls Ray Raymond. And I thought that spoke volumes, out of their relationship, because, Ray probably just likes to be called Ray. He probably only lets people close to him call him Raymond. And that, in that moment when I heard that, I was like, man, those guys have a tight bond with each other. But after the talks of conspiracies and alien sex, we find out that immediately Freddy isn't who we thought he was. See, that tip that Freddy gave Ray was actually a setup. And I knew it from the get-go. I knew it was a setup from the get-go. As soon as they passed the location, they passed the address and they had the backtrack, I was like, oh my God, it's a setup. Why? And immediately, Dave and Ray are ambushed by Raphael, this biker, and this other unknown, this alien at the moment, until I get a name for him. But I'm like thinking the whole time, why, Freddy? Why? Man, I thought Freddy and Ray were like this, and it turns out they're so far apart. We didn't even know, man. So in the middle of the shootout, Dave gets shot, and him and Ray end up fleeing and escaping. But unfortunately, Dave is so wounded that he won't be surviving. And when I tell you, that is probably one of the most dramatic / heart-stopping / emotional / best / theater at its best deaths that I've ever seen in my life, or in acting or in a TV show. Man, the way Dave died, the look in his eyes as he was talking about take care of my family, and the life in his eyes as he was looking at Ray, and how that life just left his eyes. Man, that's acting at its best. Oh my God, that was acting at its best. That is one of the most impressive, most realistic scenes of a person dying in front of another person I've ever seen, man. That should win an Emmy. That should win an Emmy. Oh my God, man. I almost teared up when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, man. Dave's dead, man. Like, damn, this is real. Shit's hit the fan. Like, shit went downhill. Then they put my boy Ray in a corner, man. And what's gonna happen? Well, I'll tell you what happened, man. Flawless victory. That is what ensued after Dave died. See, those guys thought they had Ray trapped in a corner, and they thought wrong. Violence ensues, and I'm talking about some of the best kills you will see on TV that you're allowed to even see on TV, right? Because otherwise, it'd be on cable or it'd be on a movie. On actual TV, to see people die in this form of fashion, man, shout out to FX. That's why we're here. That's why we're talking about it. That's what we're here for. The violence at its best. We're talking about flawless victory. The way Dave handled these guys, it was amazing. Did y'all catch that all three of those guys died in 3 different ways? The first guy that came in the house with a shotgun got set on fire and burnt alive. Shotgun taken from him. Then the biker that came out of nowhere that we were unaware of until now, while he's sitting there and off, this guy being burnt alive gets his face smoked. Gets his face smoked off by the shotgun. And then Raphael. How could you? Shame on you, Raphael. Raphael takes a submachine to the face. Same submachine that got thrown out the trunk earlier in the scene. Man, you talking about flawless victory. You talking about 3 different people dying with 3 different weapons. There's no better kill scene than that, man. It's great that that was the last kill scene of the show. Or so we think. Because those 2 douches at the end, years later, after Ray's left and moved on to a different hobby or a different occupation, I'm guessing he's some type of taxi cab driver. He's got hair now. He's no longer bald. He's driving these 2 douches, these 2 assholes, somewhere in the swamplands or somewhere in some wetty area, and they're giving him a hard time. We assume that Ray kills him. Because they're thinking that they're about that murder life and they don't even know who they're in the car with. But, you know, I'm just, you know, very appreciative of what we've had to have. I didn't quite like the way it ended, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, the run and then go straight into that song. I don't know what the name of that song is, but I kind of like that way that ended, but I wish we would actually saw him take those dudes out. But I guess we didn't need to see him take those dudes out because we know that's what he was going to do anyway. So, yeah, man. What else can we say, man? That hasn't already been said. I'm gonna really miss this show. I'm gonna miss the violence. I'm gonna miss the humor. I'm gonna miss the inside jokes. I'm gonna miss the cultural references and the cultural differences. I'm gonna miss everything about this show. And I'm definitely gonna watch The Magician. And I'm most likely gonna give y'all a review on it since y'all been sticking with me so far. And definitely paying attention to me, and I really appreciate that. I can't thank y'all enough. I'm gonna try to, keep communicating with y'all through the comments. And again, let me know if y'all want me to talk about Animal Kingdom, because I know they had the first episode of season 4 just came out last week. But what do y'all think about Animal Kingdom? Have y'all seen the movie? Do y'all think the show is worth talking about? Let me know what y'all think about Animal Kingdom, because I would love to talk about it with y'all if y'all like. But or if there's any other Australian TV shows that I need to know about, or any other things that y'all want to talk about. It doesn't even have to be about anything Australian related, even though this is a great show and it's a great product exported from Australia. So I thank y'all again for this great product. Thank y'all again for your time. Thank y'all again for your patience. And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. If you like what you saw, or if you were curious or intrigued, or if you took something away that made you say, damn, he has something. He has a point. He's saying something. Tell somebody about it. I'd love to, grow my viewership and get this content out. So until then, thank y'all again. And if you don't know, now Lloyd knows. Peace.